Assalamu alaikum and good day everyone. Welcome to our third lab session. In the first lab session, we have developed use case model, use case specification, sequence diagram and class diagram. We have linked each object in our sequence diagram to its associated class in the class diagram. We also arrange our classes in packages that represent our selected architectural styles. In the second lab session, we have transformed our platform-independent model to platform-specific models. Make them ready for source codes and DDL generation. In this lab session, we will continue with the implementation of our design created earlier. Let's do it now. The first step that we are going to do in this lab session is a code and database engineering. You can use the file that you have created during the last lab session, or you can download the file that I've created from e-learning. You can download it from the e-learning. Okay, as you can see in the screen that we have, I already transformed the platform independent model into the platform specific model. So I've choose two implementation for our platform specific model. The first one is the C# model, because we are going to generate the C# code, and then the second one is the DDL, the one that you can see on the screen. So this one is the DDL model, where we can use this to generate the database description language. Okay, from the diagram, as we have discussed during the last lab session, that you have to define the database here. So I choose the SQL Server 2008. So it's up to you to choose which what kind of database. And then you have to check each column, as what we did during the last lab session. So because the column, when we choose a certain database, the name of the column, for example, from the class generated is string, so we have to convert to varchar. Another thing that you have to check here is the foreign key. For example, in the booking, if the vehicle ID varchar 10, so you have to make sure that the specification for that column is a varchar 10 as well. Otherwise, it will give an error. Okay, so now how to generate the source code from here. So we have to go to the package. For example, here we generate the business. Why we choose only business package? Because for the presentation layer, we are going to use ASP.NET, and then for the data link layer or the middleware layer, we will use table adapter, which I will show you later when we start using a Visual Studio to create a project. Okay, so choose the business package here from the C# model, from the platform specific model, and then you go to package, code engineering, and then generate source code package. So it will give a classes that we already modeled here. So select all, and then you can choose the directory where you want to generate your package. In my case, I choose generated code folder in the documents folder, and then you click generate. So as simple as that. So it's finished. It is automatically done by EA. So that is the strength of engineering practice, that we have a very powerful tool. And then if you want to see the generated code, go to the folder, generated code folder, and go to the business folder. You can see all the classes is there. If you want to check what is the content of the classes, just double click the classes, and then it will direct to Visual Studio or any tools that you associate your .cs code or file extension. So here you can see that using business, because it's like in Java they have a package business, but in C#, if you generate C#, you got using business. Business is a namespace. In Java we call it as a package. So in this is a C# code. So namespace is business. So this class vehicle is under the business package or business namespace. And then here is the all the what we call the attributes that we have in the class. So it will transfer or generated in the code. And then this one is business booking and booking. This is actually the link between this class to booking class. So the and booking. So the association relationship is translated into instantiation of a class that associated to that class. And then we have a public vehicle. This one is the constructor, and then this one that you can see in the screen is a destructor. And then we have also associated object that's maybe written. This one is for the get and set for the associated object. Because booking has a vehicle, so this vehicle you can return which booking that's associated with this vehicle. So this one is available. Add vehicle is the one that's and then also save is the attributes that we the operations that we define during the construction of sequence diagram. So each object is associated with the class, and then is there any messages for the object, it will be translated to operation. And then there's a parameter that we define. So for the if you have a problem like date error, you can change to date time, because the EA cannot handle this one. Maybe the latest version can handle it, because we use the latest C# or Visual Studio definition here. So the data type is make sure that date time. So I think the rest is looking good for this code. Okay. So now we move to the next one. How to generate the data description language. So you have to go to the DDL package. Okay, this is the first step. Go to the DDL package, select DDL package, and then select package, database engineering, as you can see on the screen. From database engineering, generate package DDL. This one, data description language. Okay. So you are given a number of table there. So the table is ready to be to generate the code. So the next step is to choose which folder that you want to save it. So we will go to document again, and then I've created generate DDL folder, so we will save it here. We call it DDL SQL. To make it more meaningful, we can put CRS car rental system DDL SQL, and then we save it and then start generating the DDL. Okay, so it's finished. It's done automatically. It is easy to create the database. We can choose which diagram. For example, in different tools like StarUML, they have to it use ERD, entity relationship diagram, to generate. But in Enterprise Architect, we can use straight away the class diagram. Actually, we can modify it here if there is anything that we need to modify for DDL. Okay. So what is the generated DDL looks like? Okay. So this is the generated DDL. I just use a notepad to see it first. So it contains the creation of a table and also the database. Actually, I will show you later how to use this SQL script to create the table in the database. Okay, so it's make our job easier. Okay, next I will show you how to create the database from this SQL script or from this data description language. So go to your Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio, and then go to database. We are going to create the new database. We call it as a car rental system. Okay. And then just click OK. Set all the default parameters. We have a car rental system database created. And then if you see the tables under the tables, there's no tables yet. So we are going to use our DDL or SQL script to create the table in a database. Choose Guarantor, right click, and then we go to new query. We go back to our script, and then we select all. Okay, Control C, and then go back to our SQL Management Studio and Control V. So we have to check whether there is any error, and then we are ready now to execute the script. Just click execute or F5. You see commands completed successfully, completion. And then if we go to table, we go to this database, right click, and then right click and refresh. Go to table. You can see that the booking table, customer table, payment table, staff table, and vehicle table is already there. And then the columns, attributes, you can check that is already there, including the primary key and also the foreign key.